live, uncut, unedited, tell the truth, and shame the devil. I love being black. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited, tell the truth, and shame the devil. I love being black. All right, this is your boy Martin G, aka the Crime Chaser. I am definitely live, uncut, and unedited. All right. Now, to my right, maybe to your left, we got two ladies that spoke the other day. And we're going to replay them. We're going to study this tape tonight. And we're going to try to stay focused tonight. All right. Now let's get out. Get out. Let me get some water. Let us get out our emotions. Don't get me wrong, emotions are good. They are good. But I want us to focus on this conversation that I had with these ladies. That's what I want to do tonight. Do both parties need therapy? That's what I want to talk about tonight. This is one of the hottest stories here in the city of Chicago, neighborhood stories. And I want to ask a question tonight, a question. That's what I want to do. Do both parties need therapy? The young people that jumped on the family, do they need therapy tonight? I want to ask a question, and I need some callers. 872-299-0808. 872-297-6389. I need to know something tonight. I need to know something. Is there any healing in the house tonight? Is there any forgiveness in the house tonight? Any forgiveness in the house tonight? Come on in, people. And I'm going to start playing the video right now. You said the word therapy because most people want to take the key, lock them up, and throw it away.
No, they need therapy. They need therapy. They need to figure it out what's going on with them kids right now because this is a young age for that kind of violence. Okay. A kid to disrespect an adult is crazy. This is not okay.
By the way, I love them glasses.
Oh, thank you.
You know I know.
I feel this is not okay. This is Shanice. I'm Shanice. Okay. We want intervention.
Okay.
We want to get the kids into some karate services with preferably Brother Anthony Muhammad behind the mosque at the dojo. We want her to have an FOID card. We want to do relocation services because they vandalized her home. And we want intervention services. We want these kids held accountable at the juvenile court. We want them evaluated. We want them assessed.
Right. I want to ask you a question. So what wraparound service that you want the perpetrators to get? Now, we know what we want for the victims.
Okay, for the perpetrators, they need to be held up to the standard of... The Bible says that the law is for the lawless. Okay. They broke the law morally and physically. They need to be arrested, and they need to go to juvenile, and then there needs to be a referral made to social services to deal with what kind of, because the kids don't just go wrong, they start wrong. So it's something, you got to get to the root of it. You know a tree by the fruit is there. So it's something that they did along the lines that they demonstrating is dysfunctional fruit, and it's not okay. So they need to be They need to have psych evaluation. They need to figure out, do they come from a violent home? Were they victims of molestation? Something happened for these kids to behave this way and to think that it's okay. They didn't just wake up and say, oh, I'm going to do something outrageous today. Nah, this is something that's going on.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Why is it that every time our youth, and I'm talking about 15, 16, when they commit a crime, we always say jail, 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 throw the key, lock them away? I mean, why is that?
I'm not saying jail. I'm saying, let me tell you something. If you don't correct them as children, if we don't correct our kids while they're juveniles and we don't do some kind of intervention, they'll go and they'll be a burden of Illinois Department of Corrections. So they have to have some kind of services. I'm not saying jail. I'm saying start there, then they can go and get therapy. They got issues too.
Right.
Something is wrong. If somebody, it's something.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is so common in our black community. Violence in the home, alcoholic father, whorish mother, drug plague. Something is wrong. Uncle molested.
Okay, we live now.
Okay. What is wrong? It's some kind of abuse in the home.
All right.
For these kids to behave, whether it be lack of parenting, lack of food, lack of mentorship, something is wrong. So I ain't just saying jail.
That was still in the fucking money.
So exactly, we need intervention. We need safe passage. We need all of that. We need violence prevention. We need more funding for the push pieces. We need all of that. We need all of that. I remember when I was coming up, I went to CPS. They had parent patrols. It was parents that volunteered until the school could afford enough money to put them on payroll. And my mom led that group. So I definitely think the parents need to get involved too, to help create and advocate for a safe passage for all, not just for kids and not just for blacks. It's a Hispanic and black neighborhood for all kids and all people matter.
Yeah, because I'm getting ready to go to this function.
All right, people, we're going to play it again for those just tuned in.
Take the key, lock them up, and throw it away.
No, they need therapy. They need therapy. They need to figure it out what's going on with them kids right now, because this is a young age for that kind of violence.
Okay.
A kid to disrespect an adult is crazy.
This is not okay.
By the way, I love them glasses.
Oh, thank you.
You know I know. You know I know.
You know I know.
I feel this is not okay. This is Shanice. I'm Shanice.
Okay.
We want intervention.
Okay.
We want to get the kids
I
into
said
some
the same.
karate services
I said
with
the same
preferably
thing.
Brother Anthony Muhammad behind the mosque at the dojo. We want her to have an FOID card. We want to do relocation services because they vandalized her home. And we want intervention services. We want these kids held accountable at the juvenile court. We want them evaluated. We
Okay.
want them assessed.
Right, I want to ask you a question. So what wraparound service that you want the perpetrators to get? Now, we know what we want for the victims.
Okay, for the perpetrators, they need to be held up to the standard of the Bible said that the law is for the lawless. They broke the law morally and physically. They need to be arrested and they need to go to juvenile, and then there needs to be a referral made to social services to deal with what kind of, because kids don't just go wrong, they start wrong. So it's something, you got to get to the root of it. You know a tree by the fruit is bare. So it's something that they did along the lines that they demonstrating this dysfunctional fruit, and it's not okay. So they need to have psych evaluation. They need to figure out, do they come from a violent home? Were they victims of molestation? Something happened for these kids to behave this way and to think that it's okay. They didn't just wake up and say, oh, I'm going to do something outrageous today. Nah, this is something that's
Can
going
I
on.
ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Why is it that every time our youth, and I'm talking about 15, 16, when they commit a crime, we always say jail, 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 throw the key, lock them away? I mean, why is that?
I'm not saying jail. I'm saying, let me tell you something. If you don't correct them as children, if we don't correct our kids while they're juveniles and we don't do some kind of intervention, they'll go and they'll be a burden of Illinois Department of Corrections. So they have to have some kind of services. I'm not saying jail. I'm saying start there, then they can go and get therapy. They got issues too.
Right.
Something is wrong. If somebody, it's something. Either, I'm telling you, this is so common in our black community. Violence in the home, alcoholic father, whorish mother, drug plague. Something is wrong. Uncle molested. Something is wrong. What is wrong? It's some kind of abuse in the home for these kids to behave. Whether it be lack of parenting, lack of food, lack of mentorship. Something is wrong. So I ain't just saying jail.
That was still in the fucking money.
So, exactly. We need intervention. We need safe passage. We need all of that. We need violence prevention. We need more funding for the push pieces. We need all of that. We need all of that. I remember when I was coming up, I went to CPS, they had parent patrols. It was parents that volunteered until the school could afford enough money to put them on payroll. And my mom led that group. So I definitely think the parents need to get involved too, to help create and advocate for a safe passage for all, not just for kids and not just for blacks. It's a Hispanic and black neighborhood. For all kids and all people matter.
Yeah, because I'm getting ready to go to this function over here.
All right, people. I'm get ready. I'm getting ready to sign off in a minute. All right, we're taking calls 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. I need you guys to call in. Let's talk about this. Let's talk. We're going to stay on the subject tonight. Inboxing a lot of inboxes for you guys to come on in. And we need to talk about this. I'm definitely ready to talk about this. So come on in. This is going to be an exciting show today. And I don't hear where all them cussing parents at. Fussing and cussing. All right. And I believe these interviews, they spoke their mind, and that's what we want. Come on in. Come on, let me see. All right. Right, let's go. Let me see what the comments say. All right. I want to see what's on the comments say. Hey, what's up, Faye? I see, but it's not always something that happens at home. Okay. I need some callers. Except, oh, there they go. There they are. They're coming in. Coming in. All right. Now we got to stick to the subject now. Don't take me to left field and bring me back now. Stay in right field. We got two callers. And I want to hear what they have to say. All right. We got two live callers. We're live, uncut, and unedited. Yeah.
Hey, partner.
All right. Oh, that's my partner. Okay. All right. Come on, Vera.
Hey, what's going on, partner?
All right.
So, you know what? I am calling in to answer the question. I totally agree that everybody needs some counseling. The children that behave like that, as the young lady said, it's something else going on. Now, I'm not saying that they don't need discipline, because we already know that it says if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. What they did, they definitely have to be disciplined. But I'm not saying put them kids away in jail and throw away a book and all that stuff. They need some one-on-one counseling. They need to be redirected. They need some people, some mentors, some pastors. They may even have to cast out some demons. But again, it's deep. I heard, and I can only say what I heard because I don't know, that some of these children that were involved, that they were siblings, and that there was stuff that may have been going on with the parent. But we already know that, Martin, any child that's bold and brave enough to hit an adult, these new school children, we got to do something. So again, not to be long-winded, but to just overly agree that I think that the parents need some help as well as the children. And I do support discipline, but it's not locking them children up, throwing away the key. That's not going to be a part of the solution. That's going to even make the problem worse.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Now, you were out there that day. Could you gauge the temperature of the parents that was out there?
Man, Mark, it was some parents out there that was ready to fight. I'm talking about when it says hooly hoo, call in, them people would have fought anything looked like it had touched that woman. And, you know, there were even some that went over to the housing complex where they lived at and called them people, come outside, wake up. I mean, like they were ready for it. However, like I said, what's that's going to solve? That's only digging the hole a lot deeper. Now, again, I was highly upset about what happened. I cried real tears. And you know, I don't come out for everything, but I said I got to get out here. So back to the question is that the temperature was very hot, and I am grateful that none of those parents or those children came out to try to defend themselves. I saw a lot of anger toward the school, but I spoke with someone that lives in the community that has a child that goes to the school that's in 8th grade, that's been there since he's been in the 1st grade. And that lady said that as far as she is concerned, that the problem had nothing to do with the school, that this problem started in their housing complex, and that the person to blame is not the school, because she says that she loves the school for her child and she don't have any problem. But this stuff started at those folks' houses, and they were, vandalizing that lady's house and, destroying her mail and picking with her children. And then it just came to the school because they came to the school. So again, I'm hearing a lot of different stories, but at the end of the day, if we cannot consider nothing else, we train our children. We do the best that we can to guide them and to let them know, listen, you got a responsibility to do what's right in these streets because it'll catch up to you. But we can't govern that when they're with their when they're with their friends, when they're with their peers. We don't know what children would do. We hope they don't. But then the flip side to that is some of these parents is you just outright bogus because you allow your children to do any and everything, to talk to adults like they're talking to one of their friends. You allow them to talk to you like that. Some of the parents even scatter their children. What do we do about that, Martin?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we got two dynamics here, right? So again, as we know, man, my mother is gone. My mother is not even on this earth. Martin, I'm still scared to make certain moves. So I'm like, shoot, my mama put that in me as a child. It's just certain things I'm not gonna do. But again, the flip part about that is, what about these parents, that these new school parents, that they drink with their children? They may smoke a little weed with their children. They may have sex in the house with their children. Or they may be going through mental domestic violence, mental abuse. They may be suffering from grief. They may be, not even be robbing Peter to pay Paul, got a soul Peter and no Paul at home. And they going through and they're crying out for help, but can't nobody hear them. But now that these children that they never had control over and they've been asking for help, and now these children go out here and do something like this, now it's like, oh, get your children. Well, some of these people may have, I'm not saying, I'm just talking about some of the stories that have been brought to me, not necessarily about this incident, but this incident has sparked up people around the globe, and they reaching out. Like, man, I can't take care of my child. I've been saying I can't handle them. Don't nobody want to help. What am I supposed to do? I'm scared of them. So again, I'm not making no excuses. Trust me, I'm not. What happened to that mother has me, I still cry about it. But again, we can't put a Band-Aid on it. We got to cut down to the root and pull out that generational first and address it.
Okay, hold it right there, Mama Vera. Let's take this next caller. 094.
Hey, Martin, it's me.
Hey, Dr. K.
It's,
All right.
hey. Yeah, it goes deeper because me, coming up in a household that was strict, there were things that I couldn't do. I'm just gonna say I couldn't do. I couldn't talk back to adults. I couldn't address adults by their name. I couldn't do what I want to do. I couldn't roll my eyes, none of that kind of stuff, because I knew I wouldn't have no eyeballs or probably no brain either. But it's how you teach. The younger generation of this time right now, they're so busy caught up on how to raise their children according to what they see on television. We got crazy movie shows like Basketball Wives and all that, and everybody call each other a B, a hoe, a slut, and all that. That's not a greeting for anything. A lot of them don't know. The children are picking up bad behavior from their parents. What they see in the home, or if it's not the parents, they may see it at grandmama's house, they may see it at uncle's house. Because, some children, where at my house, I can't do certain things, but over at auntie's house, I can do whatever I want to do. And that's not good. The Bible is the tool. I don't know why people will not understand the word of God. The word of God even tells children there are rules for children. There are rules for adults. Nobody is exempt. That a disobedient child would not live long their days. I've seen a lot of, in my time, where I've seen disobedient children, they don't live too long. And the parents are worried and stressed. They let them do what they want to do. I don't want my kids to be mad at me. I don't want my kids to not like me. Well, first of all, you're not their friend. The Bible never said that a child is your friend. It says parent, father, mother. That's what it says. That's what it says. So when you talk about getting the family together, you've got to have families in this generation that want to listen and learn, because they're learning from stuff that does not make any sense, and it causes problems. Smoking weed, as I mentioned on your previous shows, Martin, I've seen kids come into school and they bags smell like weed. Girls talking about oral sex. What they talking about oral sex in grammar school? Because they're getting it from somewhere. And now you have social media and has so much on YouTube that you can look at, and the kids looking at all this stuff, Roblox and all this other kind of stuff. We didn't have all that stuff. We had Sesame Street, Zoom, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood that told you how to be a person. You had Schoolhouse Rock that taught you what is the Constitution, what is the bill, what is the verb and adjective. Families need to understand that. And when we come together, if they want to learn how to be a mother, how to be a father, they're so busy. Oh, God, help me, Jesus. They're too busy being horny all the time. We know that's human nature.
Okay, Doc.
It's human nature.
Dr. K, I need you to come a little closer to the video. I'm going to play it again. We're going to try to stay with this.
I heard. I saw it.
Okay. What you got to say about that?
Mm-hmm, I heard it. It's the truth. We need to do something different. We need to do something different. We really do. We really do.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that they always go after the mother. But what about that missing father? Pick everybody.
Right,
up.
that's what I'm talking about.
Anybody that may have had something to do, because again, I'm not making no excuses. Because some of these people out here, again, not against with this particular case, but some of these mamas out here trifling is all outdoors, and they know. Sure. They know they don't have no discipline. I have seen. I'm a mother of 5, and I had one time a mother call my phone and say to me, "Well, won't we just let our kids meet up and they can meet at the park and fight?" And I'm like, it took everything in me. See, like if I meet you at a park, I bet you better have the police there. I'm not bringing my kids to meet you at no park to fight. Who does that? Who does that? But when I grow up, if they met you in the park, it was, man, again, we don't have time for that. That mindset where you gotta, act like you tougher than tough for the internet. You can't be scary. I'm scared. I don't want no trouble, because anytime trouble show up, it's usually people being put on shirts. And I don't want that for people. I got 5 children, and I promise you, I put it into them every day. Be careful who you hang with. Watch what you do. Trust your instincts. Everybody ain't none of your friends. Watch your surroundings. Don't drink and drive. Say no to drugs. You know, I mean, still, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Having a 15-year-old still child and a 20-year-old child and 7 grandchildren today in this age, man, when I say pray without ceasing, I have to stay close to the throne.
Okay. Now, I'm going to play the video for those just came in. Play the video for those that just came in. Play the video for them.
You said the word therapy because most people want to take the key, lock them up, and throw it away.
No, they need therapy. They need therapy. They need to figure it out what's going on with them kids right now, because this is a young age for that kind of violence.
Okay.
A kid to disrespect an adult is crazy.
This is not okay.
By the way, I love them glasses.
Oh, thank you.
You know I know.
You know I know.
I feel this is not okay. This is Shanice. I'm Shanice.
Okay.
We want intervention.
Okay.
We want to get the kids
I
into
said
some
the same.
karate services with preferably Brother Anthony Muhammad behind the mosque at the dojo. We want her to have an FOID card. We want to do relocation services because they vandalized her home. And we want intervention services. We want these kids held accountable at the juvenile court. We want them evaluated. We want them assessed.
Right. I want to ask you a question. So what wraparound service that you want the perpetrators to get? Now, we know what we want for the victims.
Okay, for the perpetrators, they need to be held up to the standard of... The Bible says that the law is for the lawless. They broke the law morally and physically. They need to be arrested, and they need to go to juvenile, and then there needs to be a referral made to social services to deal with what kind of... Because the kids don't just go wrong, they start wrong. So it's something, you got to get to the root of it. You know a tree by the fruit is bare. So it's something that they did along the lines that they demonstrating this dysfunctional fruit, and it's not okay. So they need to have psych evaluation. They need to figure out, do they come from a violent home? Were they victims of molestation? Something happened for these kids to behave this way and to think that it's okay. They didn't just wake up and say, oh, I'm going to do something outrageous today. No, this is something that's going on.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Why is it that every time our youth, and I'm talking about 15, 16, when they commit a crime, we always say jail, 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 throw the key, lock them away? I mean, why is that?
I'm not saying jail. I'm saying... Let me tell you something. If you don't correct them as children, if we don't correct our kids while they're juveniles and we don't do some kind of intervention, they'll go and they'll be a burden of Illinois Department of Corrections. So they have to have some kind of services. I'm not saying jail. I'm saying start there, then they can go and get therapy. They got issues too.
Right.
Something is wrong. If somebody, it's something... Either, I'm telling you, this is so common in our black community. Violence in the home, alcoholic father, whorish mother, drug plague. Something is wrong. Uncle molested. Something is wrong. What is wrong is some kind of abuse in the home for these kids to behave. Whether it be lack of parenting, lack of food, lack of mentorship. Something is wrong. So I ain't just saying jail.
That was still in the fucking money.
Okay. We got a new caller. I thought it was 0904. I think they hung up. Did they? Is that you?
I'm still here, Mark.
Yeah,
I didn't hang up.
we had another caller. They hung up. I'm trying to figure out where all our parents at tonight. Everybody has something to say. Now I'm asking a question. Well, I mean, call in. Where y'all at? Let's talk about this. Go ahead.
And Martin, I want to add this. One of the ladies that I was talking to and said that a lot of these parents are on vacation. Mm-hmm. And what do I mean? That those children are going to school and raising themselves. And some of these parents, you know, when you look at their age, some of them are 30 years old, may have 5, 6, 7 children. And they're still trying to live their life. And, you know, they set some rules and maybe leave some food in the house. But for the most part, they're gone. Now, what about that? because I know that to be a situation. I've heard, even out there, some of the people say, man, I know some of the children, I kept them myself and tried to feed them when their parents wasn't at home. So again, when we really look at the situation, again, I'm not saying don't whoop them children behind. Yeah, they need they butts toe up. I can't say it enough. If you spare the rod, you spoil the child. However, after you whoop their butt, let's get down to the problem, and then let's make them understand why it's a problem. And then when we working with them to make them understand why it's a problem, let's see what's going on with the mama. We may even have to get to the grandmamas and the granddaddies. Where y'all need some help at? Like, what's going on? You see what I'm saying? And then by the time we get all of the story out, we like, man, some of these children were sexually molested and may be angry because we don't. And again, I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, suppose some of those children that's angry when they come outside, they just mad when they come outside because what they enduring when they in their house. They hungry, you got grown men or women, whatever, having sex with them. Again, I'm saying hypothetically speaking, because we know some of that stuff happens. Then they take that frustration and that anger out on the world because it's like, I got to get some attention. Somebody got to see me. Or either they're easily led astray. Some kids go along just to get along. So again, I know I'm going down Pandora's box, but I'm just asking us to look at the bigger picture. And I'll say it 10 times. Yes, I believe that everybody involved cannot get away with what happened. I still pray for that mother because I'm like, Lord, I know she wasn't at the best of health when this happened to her, and I know she's not at the best of health now. Lord, strengthen this mother and keep her here because we still not even out of the woods yet. We need this mother to get better. And what happened to her definitely ain't help her situation. We know that. We know it only put her that much closer to harm's way concerning her illness. But again, I'm going to release the mic, Martin.
Okay.
And let somebody else speak.
Listen to this. I want to say this real quick to my listening audience. Call in. Everybody was aggressive. Now, if I was talking about whoop that trick, y'all be calling in right now. Violence. Now I'm asking a question. Both parties need therapy. Nobody wants to say anything. I've been accused on this. I've been accused of taking up for the perpetrators. I've been accused. Not one time that I denied the fact that those children that did this crime should be punished. Now, Vera, Dr. K, I want to say this. A lot of us won't be satisfied until we know what the punishment is or we see the punishment. When them adults came up to that school, they really wasn't coming up there to pray. They wanted some action. They'd already put it out in the atmosphere. It was an adult male, had a weapon, had a gun. You bringing a gun up to a high school.
Has joined.
What kind of stuff is that? What kind of mindset is that? Now, this same energy, Vera, Dr. K, we need to have when one of these 15 or 14-year-olds carjack an adult for their car. And once we find out who it is, I want to see how many of y'all go up to his school or go to his house. See, we just can't do it because a parent just got stomped, pushed around, hit. Now, according to what somebody wrote in the chat, 3 people got shot today downtown. Young persons, young people. Now, any parent know that once young people gather in mass numbers, you know what the possibility can happen. So I suggest every mom on here, if you don't know where your teenager is tonight, you need to find out. Because you might be picking out a suit for next week. You might need to pay a visit to the hospital. You might need to call his or her friends and ask them what happened. Come on, my dear sister, 9433.
Hey, Martin, I'm calling to say we as a Black people don't like to admit that we need help, that we need counseling. Counseling, yes, both parties need counseling. Everybody needs help. They need therapy, and you are correct. What about the carjackers? What kids crying out for help? And the other kids maybe whoop the mother to cry out for help. We don't know if those kids was hungry. We don't know if them kids needed a bath. They found out the cry for help. So I'm gonna say us as a Black people, we don't like to admit that we need counseling. Counseling is good for the soul. Everybody needs to go talk to somebody.
Shanice.
Everybody need a listening ear.
872-299-0808. Hold on, my dear sister. I'm going to let you come back in. 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
Hey, girl.
All right. Because people call me right now about the shooting downtown. I guarantee that's what it is. Let me find out, y'all. Hold on. Yes, sir. Yeah, they said 3 people got shot. 3 people got shot over there by the theater. Yeah. That's what they said on my timeline. I'm on live right now. So be careful. All right, thank you. All right, let me put the number in the chat. 872-299-0808. Go ahead, finish up, my sister, real quick.
And when I was growing up as a child, you couldn't say lie at my parents' house. You can say lie. And these young parents is not sending these kids down at the dinner table. They're not cooking these kids a meal. They microwaving these kids meal. They need to bring that family time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. That's so true. All right. Come on, 9844. Last 4 digits.
Hey, it's Shanice.
Hey, y'all. This is one of our speakers who was on the live tonight. I mean, on the video. On the video. We're in the video. So, hey. All right. So.
First of all, thank you. I'm enjoying the content for sure. I love the conversation. It's amazing.
Thank you. Well.
Secondly, I want to give my opinion on the video.
Come on. Come on.
No, okay. So look, I greatly agree with a lot of women that called in, but they really missing the big point. The big point is, a lot of parents now come from the social media era. And when I say the social media era, I mean when the internet really started going viral. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of parents don't know how to be parents. They come from an era where, like, oh, you go viral, like, oh my God, we just seen that online. So it's a lot of young parents. Like, I'm a '90s baby, right? With me being a '90s baby, I seen like a lot of stuff. Like I come from like the first generation of internet, right? So now you got the kids that's coming from the next generation of internet. The first generation of internet, we just getting in there. Now the next generation, they're like, oh, okay, we gonna do this for the Instagram, we gonna do this for Facebook, we gonna do this for TikTok and stuff like that. And it's just getting out of hand. And then now you also got where you got reality TV, you got the baddies, you got the love and hip hop. You got everybody aspiring to do that. You got all the bad bitches. It's like one image. Everybody want to be the same thing nowadays. And people are not teaching their kids to be individuals. They're not teaching their kids to be better than that. They're exposing their kids to all the wrong shit. When I was a kid, I couldn't watch certain movies. I couldn't look at certain things. I couldn't say, like she said, you couldn't say lie. You had to say fib. You couldn't do certain stuff. Like all the rules, all the barriers were broken. Y'all know back in the day, we used to watch BET After Dark. You used to try to sneak on there. And then that's when the shit was really busting. But nowadays, like, our kids are seeing this shit. And we as a community, as
hold on,
black
Mama.
people,
Hold on, Mama.
I'm listening.
Stop all that cussing. You know, we got them little kids watching this. Stop all that cussing.
I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead.
I'll be talking. I'm sorry. I'm a trucker. Don't mind me. I'm a truck driver. I do have kids. But, you know, like, people are just, like, exposing their kids to so much. But the biggest thing is we need to keep our kids off the internet. We need to keep our kids away from the TVs. We need to keep them in books. Like, we need to really, like she said, we need to sit them at dinner tables every night. You know what I'm saying? We need to really educate our children. People are just letting it happen. Like, the event with the woman and stuff like that, like everything that happened, how do you not know where your kids are when they get out of school? I drive trucks, y'all, full time. I drive trucks full time. I have 3 kids. I'm not going to say I'm a single mom, but I am the sole provider and I live with my children full time and I know where they are hours of the day. How do you not know where your children are when they get out of school? We got to do better. We got to do better.
And you know what I want to add? Because you said something that I want to correct.
Yes,
we're not even missing the big. We're not even missing the big picture. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until I got my behind out there in them streets and got back in the street that I saw myself in the big picture. Because again, if you're raising children and grandchildren, you can see what's happening now if you're raising them. So I see what's
you're
happening.
You're an active parent.
Matter of fact,
ma'am.
They're very active. I got a 14-year-old. We wrote the book last year on bullying because I seen how they bait, you know, girls in the fight. You can't even have a beautiful girl that dress good nowadays because they bait you in. You think you too cute or you this and you that. And you're right. The television shows and the stuff that they watching. So it's coming from a bigger picture because it's popular to get out here and fight. No, and they got a thing. No pulling hair. No, don't nobody jump in. It's just one-on-one. And you got men and women and everybody out here recording, and they will let you get beat to the ground, and everybody want to sit here and watch because the person that got the most views, got the most likes. Man, yeah. You know, it is like, are you kidding me? But guess what I saw in that picture, sister? Guess what I saw in that picture? I saw myself because I said, well, wait a minute. Because if you can see this going on, and if you ain't doing nothing, you still part of the problem. Because how dare you see the problem and you don't get your behind up and do something. So that's what I said. I said, oh, this situation here was so bigger than what happened that everybody, all hands on deck. Now, again, I was one of those ones that I was so angry. I was like, man, get all of them. Yeah, the matter of fact, wake they great-great-great-grandmamas up and whoop her behind because somebody dropped the ball. But then again, I looked at myself and said, okay, so if you're going to whoop them from dropping the ball, then whoop yourself because you ain't doing nothing with the ball. You just sitting there holding it. If it's your gift that's gonna make room for you, you ain't doing nothing with yours. Miss, I raised my children. Miss, I got super honor roll and children with master's degrees. Okay, but you ain't in the community. It starts at home, but then when you get it out in the house, you still need to do the work in the community. So I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. So again, everybody got their part. For those ones that saying, I'm 10 toes down for the mother, those kids need they behind whoop, then you know what? You're right. You're right. But for those ones that saying, oh, hecky no, it takes a village. And those other kids, you know, they need some help and they need some discipline too. They need somebody to, you know, intervene and give them some mentorship. You're right too. And for those ones that saying, oh, we need to get, you know, the churches and we need to get the, you know, the prophets and the evangelists and the prayer warriors back on the streets. And we need to get it back in the school. You're right too. And for those ones that's looking at the staff and saying, what's wrong with y'all? You know, people telling y'all that it's a problem and y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all just sitting on your hand, coming here picking up a check and children need help. We need to get y'all ass. Excuse me.
Let me interject, Mama. Let me interject. Y'all the biggest picture is.
Hold on.
Sorry, y'all. The biggest picture is.
Okay.
Nobody is being raised in a home of love no more.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is disconnected from reality because of social media. Y'all really have to understand that. Do y'all see the things that people say to people online? Nobody is being raised in a home of love, and then they get on social media and they display the hate because they don't have love at home. So when they say you need to have dinner with your family, that's a real thing. I was raised by a single father. He raised 8 children by himself, okay? Had dinner every night with my siblings. And to this day, we talk every single day. It is 8 of us. People are not being raised in a home of love. We had like an hour on a game, and I'm telling you, I had to share the game with 7 other people. You get what I'm saying? An hour on a game a day, and I'm sharing it with 7 other people. It's not a lot of time. Y'all know that ain't a lot of time. But now people are throwing devices in front of their kids. Their kids are getting addicted to social media. They are letting the internet and they are letting everybody else influence and raise their children. The real reality is we need to just start raising our kids. Nobody care. Like the school, everybody like, what the school do, what the school do. The education system has been a problem a long time ago. I know it's been a problem a long time ago because I can tell by the way you talk to me, you're older than me. I'm only 32. You know, when you went to school, they had a lot more to offer. Now they don't have much to offer. These kids ain't really got basketball. They ain't got sports. They not giving you, you're not able to like leave school with a medical assistant degree anymore. You're not able to do none of that. The real problem is like society is raising your kids and society ain't got much to offer them. So what are we doing as parents? That's the real reality.
Okay. And you know what? And that's why I said when I saw the bigger picture, I couldn't help but see myself, because a lot of the reasons that we don't have these programs, it's not because we have a lack of resources. It's that we have a lack of accountability and responsibility. Because if we
got to start voting for the right people. We got to start voting for the school boards. We got to start voting for the right people. We got to pay attention to them kind of votes. Forget who the president is. Worry about what's going on in your county, in your district. Worry about who your alderman is. We need to worry about that type of stuff. That's what we really need to worry about. Who really standing up for us in our community?
And let me ask you this, because we talked while we was out there. As a matter of fact, we still got to connect. But let me ask you this. What about the programs and the resources that we got at our fingertips? Things that we can bring. Now, again, I ain't bragging because I brag differently. But I got 5 girls. 3 of them have master's degrees. One of them is a straight A student right now. All of them have been straight A students. Even my grandchildren. And again, I ain't bragging because I brag different, but for those of that know, even my grandchildren are all straight A students and ranked high. So I'm about this life. It starts at home. So again, we can't put all of the responsibility on the school and the lack of programs because When I was growing up, we had our own program. We brought things to the school. So again, if you go to the school with a program and with an idea and with your own creativity, start it there. Some things are priceless. And when you go into the school with your program, you can get money, but it don't take money to do everything. And I'm gonna tell you how I know that. Martin, I started it with you right before when my mother was in the hospital. We started missing, please come home, global alert. We ain't got a dime for that platform. But you know how many families we done saved? You know how many people done found their children through missing, please come home, global alert? You know how many people call us and how much resources we did, and the resources we got from anybody was the ones we got from our own pocket. We ain't asked nobody for a dime. Not a dime. You can't never say you gave a dime.
And
that platform been up since 2018.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. Hold on 1 second. We got a new caller.
Okay.
Caller been holding on for a while.
Okay.
2497. Hey, caller. Thank you for holding.
Hello.
Hello. You're live, uncut, unedited.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm wonderful.
I've been listening, and when this first went down, I was so angry. I was so mad. But as I was looking at you guys live, I was looking at it over the internet, and it was scanning the crowd, everybody. And I said to myself, I wonder how many of those parents even go to the meetings at the school. How many of those parents even got a voter's registration? And then when I was seeing all the commotion, I was like, oh my God, this is not a good look. But I agree with the panel. A lot of kids are living on survival, not love at all, And I just, when I seen that lady getting beaten up like that, first of all, her son is afraid. And then to see his mother get beat up like that, I mean, that was just so horrible to see that. But in the community that I live in, I mean, I'm a star when I was younger. My mother, she used to go up to the meetings at the school. She would be the only parent there. It would be no other parents there. And it's so important to go to these school meetings because that's where you learn how they spending the money and everything. The community that I live in right now, the parents don't even participate with their children's school or come to meetings to be involved. You have more older people, retired folks that got homes that go to the meetings because we pay for the schooling. It comes out of our taxes. So, the older people be going to the meetings, So I just feel that nothing is going to change. These parents is just off the chain. They're not right. They're not put together at all. They're not. And nothing is going to change, if these parents don't get it together. The parents is the bigger problem than anything. The parents.
Question.
And that's the honest to God truth.
Question.
Yes.
I see you're a seasoned person, so you told on yourself. I have a question for you. When you were scanning the videos of the parents in front of the building, what was the vibration that you picked up, or what did you see? Just tell us. Go ahead.
Oh my God! I was like, wow, they wow. Didn't seem like they were educated. The way they was talking, and it wasn't like they were supposed to be there. I didn't want to put nobody down because I was glad to see the community come together, but it was the way that they were expressing themselves, and it just didn't make any sense. And a lot of young people think, well, I'm not going to vote. It don't have nothing to do with me. But look, this young lady is going to have to be in front of the judicial system because of what happened to her and her children. So that's the reason why it's important to vote. This situation happened, it didn't happen at the school, but, she said she had been complaining and they never helped. Not going to meetings, that's why that happened, because that's something you could have put on the table as a parent. They have to have a zero tolerance, some type of policy. zero tolerance in these schools. And a lot of times when things happen over the weekend, the school should be notified because it's going to spill off into the school once Monday morning hits. So, we're going to keep seeing this. History repeats itself. The parents is different. We cut from a different cloth. I was born in 66, so I'm an OG. I'm an auntie. I'm 59 years old. It's not the way it used to be. It used to be where your grandmama, your aunts, they all looked after you.
Yeah.
Everybody looked after you. It's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. You got a lot of grandparents who's on drugs too.
Mm-hmm.
Their kids is on drugs, and the kids are just doomed. And it just saddens me. I got my little grandbaby. He's with me now, and we surround him with love, and we just surround him with love, and that's what you have to do. Surround a baby with love, and that's what's missing. They raising themselves. Ain't nobody cooking. Mama's outside partying, or she locked up in a room with her guy. Then when the school time comes, she trying to get them out of there, send them to school if she's not working so she can lay up. That's what a lot of them do, lay up in the house while they're at school. It's just a new, different breed of young people now.
Okay, now this is a question to my friend Shanice. How are you again? You're a 90s baby. What do you think that we have to do to turn this thing around? All right. What do you, as far as parenting? Now, I'm not just saying the women, I'm including the men in that as well. What do you guys, let's get to some solution oriented. Now, we pointed out we have identified a lot of problems. Now, let's come up with some solutions where we think that probably will work. Starting with you, Miss 9844.
You talking to me?
No, not you. Not
Hello?
you.
I'm sorry, y'all.
No.
Do somebody else first. I'm at a truck stop swapping my kids out real quick.
Okay. All right.
Give me a second.
All right. Okay. I'll take 2497. Come on. Auntie. OG Auntie. Come on, Auntie.
Oh, hey. What can we do? Oh, God. Oh, God. That is such a hard.
See, now, listen, before I'm going to give you time. I'll come back to you. I'll give you time to think about it. So,
yeah, come
okay.
Back.
So what I'm trying to do is we've learned how to identify problems. Now, as a group, we need to learn how to solve the problems. What are we going to do about the things that we've identified? How are we going to turn it around? Turn a negative into a positive? That's what I'm asking tonight. Go ahead. Somebody talk to me.
We need to make sure that them kids get some help. Those kids need help too. They crying out for help too. And I want to throw in there, Martin. Your child learns from 1 to 7. From the age 1 to 7. Those are the most important years in your kid's life, from the age of 1 to 7. And I'm going to give her thanks again because 4 years ago, y'all helped me find my daughter. And I was grateful, more than grateful. And being a parent don't come. Being a parent, I'm going to keep saying this, do not come with instructions. I got a 19-year-old and a 25-year-old. And I still tell my kids right now today, if anybody bothers you, come tell Mama Bear because I'm going to protect my cubs at all costs. And you have to watch what you do around your kids because you are the role model.
Okay. All right. We got area code 609.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, how are you?
Hey. I'm good. I just want to piggyback on something that the panel was talking about. The first time I was working at a university college and I had an hour lunch. The first time I ever heard of ADD. I have two sons. It was my baby son. I never heard of ADD. What was that? Well, anyway, so the school was trying to say he was overactive, attention deficit disorder. Okay, I'm gonna try to get past it. So anyway, they wanted him to have counseling, and then they came to medication. And I'm natural healer. I do herbs, and I don't like taking pills and all that. So when they told that, I said, wait, hold up. I said, this can be resolved differently. My son has never had a child, started a family, and you talk about medication. They said, well, maybe temporarily. I think I did it for a week. His behavior was so bad. His medicine, he was called Ritalin when he started out. He was born in the 80s. And I think his behavior, and I said, no. I said, I have an hour lunch. What she was just saying, it was me and a white lawyer. We the only two. I took all vacation trips, all the school, kids, different things. I volunteered. And my son, that same summer, make it short, the same boy now, they said at the end of the day, come to find out he was a genius. At the age of 4, he was a master chef. Basically speaks 6 languages. He retired at 35. This is the child she was talking about. But because I was involved, this is the same child for the military Navy. He's 100% retired, 35. But if I would have went and did it the way she said or whatever, and you know, basically his whole life would have been different. I'm grateful. I got involved for a whole year. Every time his lunch, I took lunch. Only thing you couldn't bring McDonald's to disturb the other children, but you can have lunch. So I purchased the lunch and have him every day. And the same child now, so it brings tears to my eyes. What I seen the other day, I'm looking at all the parents. I don't mean any harm. And like I said before, and it's going to come to that. Because everybody, I'm saying mothers, I'm saying that you single wife, and I promise you, that's the only thing. This is a spiritual battle. These kids come in a world with different blunts. The neighborhood sit outside and smoke blunts. So this is a spiritual battle. So regardless of how much medication, they're just going to medicate them more on top of the marijuana and whatever drugs they find in the house. So we already know, and I don't know why it seems so hard. Like I said, where is the mustard seed? This is all the faith that God asked. All the children, all the people that said about God, he said faith over mustard seed. I don't want to go that deep because I know I can get deep. So I'm just trying to say to the mothers or whatever, we're in a spiritual battle, warfare, and for some reason, I don't know why the attack, well, it's attack or not. There's something about our children. It's a big attack on our community, our children, and everything. So all I'm asking the mothers or whoever's on here, the ladies and stuff, because the men be pretty busy, especially if they're good fathers, grandparents. They have a big role out here, and they protect us. So some way we got to find a way that every day we got to take out that time and we got to start praying for each other's children. And I'm just going to lay back.
Anybody? Okay, we got another new caller. They're coming in right now. Hold a second. And we're asking some good questions tonight. And see, normally if we were talking about all that was wrong, what they did to the children, everybody be calling in, giving their opinion. But now we're asking for some solutions.
No, I got a great solution.
Well, come on, Miss Shanice.
All right, listen. The same when you guys started the Find My Children program, I think a great solution is to start a parenting program. A lot of people might not like it. They might not want to join, right? But if you guys start a parenting program so we can take it back to the old school parenting, because I come from the old school parenting, I think that'll really, really help. I think, teaching parents, like how to get their kids off the internet, how to get them active, because the society is not built for people of a certain skin color. I don't want to be I don't want to be weird about it, but it's not built for that. So once our communities start building resources for each other, teaching our young women how to be parents, our young men how to be fucking parents and stuff. I'm sorry for my language. I'm sorry, y'all know I'm a trucker. But once they start teaching people how to be parents, and like people are like, oh yeah, I don't need nobody to teach me this. No, you can always learn something. You can learn something new every day. I learn something new every day. So I think that's a great idea. Like she said, start showing up to those parent meetings at the schools. Participate. Be an active parent. Actually show up. Give your advice. You go to the parent meetings. You get advice. They tell you stuff. And then you show up at the parents teacher meetings and stuff. And then now you got an input, and now you're helping incorporate plans and safety plans and rules and stuff to help the kids and help everybody as a whole. I think that's a great idea. So maybe we should start a program where we are helping each other become better parents. I think that'd be a start right there.
Okay. Our new caller hung up. So, anybody else? Any solutions? All right, well, let me go back to the video. I'm going back to the video. I love this video. I love it.
You said the word therapy because most people want to take the key, lock them up, and throw it away.
No, they need therapy. They need therapy. They need to figure it out what's going on with them kids right now, because this is a young age for that kind of violence.
Okay.
A kid to disrespect an adult is crazy.
This is not okay.
By the way, I love them glasses.
Oh, thank you.
I know.
All right, that's who's talking now. She's talking. That was our inside joke about them glasses. She know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna bust out. But let me just say this, people. Our young people are sick. Not all of them. Not all of them.
No.
I love the way. Let me speak on some positive things first. Okay, somebody call. Okay, there go Bill. Okay, go ahead, Bill. I'll submit what I'm about to say. Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, of course, those kids need therapy, but probably a large portion, 90% of the ones in the urban area need some therapy. But we know there should be more resources for the kids through CPS. Also in the police department, because the way they respond to a lot of the, especially domestic stuff, and people coming up dead because they don't know how to respond to somebody that's high off a pill or whatever the case may be. Those are definitely would be long-term solutions, but solutions for right now, the coming to the PTA meeting and all that, that's good. But for right now, I believe parents who got kids, get to know your kids' friends. Get to know their friends. Get to know their parents. Mothers, fathers, whoever that got school kids and you're not working or whatever, you know school is out, come out on the porch. Come out on the sidewalk. Talk with some of these kids as they walking by. And maybe we can get to the bottom of some of this anger without before we get to the part of therapy. This can happen, therapy and all that can happen months, years from now. But this could be did right now. This school year, tomorrow, Monday. Just come out your house. Make your presence known. And if people was doing that when this situation happened, they could have came to aid and assist that young lady, or possibly prevented it from happening in the beginning. Because if you establish some kind of relationship with the kids that's walking past your house, 9 times out of 10, if you got a good rapport, they will listen to you. I know it worked for us. That's all I got to say.
And in the CVI world, we call that a credible messenger. You got credibility. You know, that's what we call that. Let's finish listening to this video. Go ahead.
He totally correct. He definitely correct. I've experienced a little boy coming to my door telling me, you know, tell your son to come outside, and he wants to fight my son. My solution was, I told him, listen, you're a young man. I'm going to treat you as such, right? I said, what we're going to do first is I'm going to have my son come outside, and you guys are going to communicate. And you're going to communicate, and you're going to get to the root of the problem, right? So my son came outside. They communicated. They got to the root of the problem. I said, it doesn't always have to be violence. It ended well. I'm not saying it's going to always end well, but at the end of the day, like, people are not teaching their children to communicate because parents don't know how to be parents. So what do we have to do? We need parents to learn how to be parents. Everybody didn't have a grandma. Everybody didn't have a mom. Everybody didn't have a dad. It's a lot of broken homes. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody know what happened in the 80s. And there's a lot of babies from the 80s out here in these streets. So we need to start at the root of the problem. The root of the problem is we are years behind. And if we want to succeed as a community, we have to act as such, as a community. And we have to actually care for one another, help one another, look at somebody, like he said, get to know the kids in the community. Like, don't just assume, like, oh, because you knocked on my door, you want to fight my kid, I'm going to send my kid out here, they going to work you. No, everything is not a battle. Everything is not a fight. Everything is not a war. Everybody don't think like that, though. But you can teach people to think like that. You can change people's mind. That's why they have social media. That's why they have influencers, and they are influencing our children to do things that they want them to do.
Okay.
So we have to change the narrative.
All right. Now,
Martin,
yes, go ahead.
how you doing? I know you was going to come back to me because I can only, it's harder for me to come up with a solution. I am retired. My kids are all grown. But what that gentleman said, that is true about getting to know the youth in the neighborhood. Because my mom, she was retired. She's deceased now. She passed away in 97. She would have the kids pick up paper and she would give them money so they can buy something to eat, or here, paint my wrought iron fence, and she would pay them. And that's how she got to know the youth in the area, you know, and they had a lot of respect for her. We had a no gang banging zone on our block. We lived on 68th and Harper. In that area, and they was gang banging all around, but on her block, it was a no zone gang banging, and even the gang members had respect for her. Where they just respect her. But as time went on, things changed, and that was the reason why I moved away from there, because the gang members were starting to fight the mothers and fighting the kids. So that's why I moved out to where I moved, that I got away from the city. But to me, I'm that person on my block. We don't have a lot of kids on the block, but I do see them passing, walking to school with their parents, and I'm always sitting on my friend. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm always speaking. If I see them doing anything wrong, I'm going to say something to them. But we don't really have a block where it's a lot of kids. But, I just wish that CPS had more programs to kind of help these mothers, that they can identify if they got a child that's having problems. I just wish that they had more programs out. Is this a demand that we should have from these politicians that's always telling us what they're going to do for us, and then when they get in, they just line in their pockets? We need to have more programs to help these younger folks with these babies. We really do, and that's the only way that we're going to be able to get through this is, programs. So, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Not only programs, but we need some family values. It starts at home.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It definitely,
absolutely.
That's what we need as
But what do
parents.
you do when the family is all broken up?
Well,
what do you do when it's family values and you don't really have nobody to teach you that?
You know what? Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a time,
Sandra.
I remember when there was might have been
Next, Shango.
a few families that was kind of messed up or whatever, but usually their friends, their parents almost like adopted them, and they even called their friend's mother mama. She kept her doors open for him like he was a child to keep him from going astray, you know, feeding him or whatever. And now we got a situation where just the other day I heard women saying they don't care if them kids don't never eat.
Wow.
You know, and if you look at the all the videos from the last 3 days, these grown people showing up at their house and all this other stuff.
Yes.
Those same parents out there, they got a son or a nephew that's out here doing even worse. So what's the solution according to them? Bring all the kids out and have a mass ass whooping?
We got a new caller.
Well, that's what it seems.
Yeah, we got a new caller.
That's what it seems like they're working on.
Yeah, Shango, come on, my brother. This is my coworker, y'all. Come on, my brother.
Yeah, how you doing, Mark?
Good.
How you doing? Blessings and love to everybody. I see one person said something that will bring everything what everyone said on here. One thing I love is that it is a blessing to hear from all of these great mothers and great women. But really what the problem is that, and I would even say for me, where's us men at? Where's us men at? Because where there are men at, and there are boys at, the boys turn to be the men and not just be males out here. And every man is a male, but every male is not a man. And I give you two great examples. I live right down the street, and we all know about this school, Leo. St. Leo, 79th and Peoria. We have not heard anything happen over there, nothing going on over there, because why? It is men that is out here raising and doing what they supposed to be doing. Me, I'm in West Inglewood. I've been running the mentoring program for 10 years. I've been having over 40 boys. And every time I go in there with one call of what she said. I go in there with the word of God. I go in there with the spirit of who my grandmother and them made me to be. I go in there to be what I'm supposed to be, and that's a solution. And I learn and I do reflective listening. What these kids need is self-efficacy. What they need first before anything is to be trained up as a child in the way they shall go. And we always know that it's about environment and it's about language. Everything you beautiful sister said on here is right. But what's a shame of it is none of us men up here to take notes and to tell you all that we're going to go out and we're going to not point down, but we're going to get down and we're going to lift them up, that we're going to take accountability. We're going to be what we supposed to be to show them what we supposed to be. We're getting saturated too much with social media. We're getting saturated too much for concerts. If you really check what's going on in Chicago, we got comedian concerts, we got rap concerts. When you look who they're on YouTube, it's us grown-ups there. Where the kids at? Just pause for a minute. Where is the kids at? Where are we at sitting down with them? Someone mentioned Mr. Rogers. Someone mentioned what's going on. But one thing I know is that he said, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. All we see out here is a gang of people with a lot of leaning to their own understanding. But the only wisdom comes from God. And so to me, I don't have nothing against therapy, counseling. I don't have nothing against whatever would bring the productivity of bringing what we supposed to be doing, and that's building God's kingdom. And that's what we're supposed to be doing, because it's four people, it's four units out here that control everything. And we as the people, every time, and we are not the people, we of the people, every time something happens, we are the ones that's standing up. And it's the politicians, it's the police, it's the pastors, and it's the parents. It's them 4 P's right there. And if we come with the principles of God, and if we hold those accountable, they got the resources like they said in the schools. I mentor from everything to me. I get no help from no one else. So what we have to start doing, we have to start identifying, detecting. We already know about interrupting and intervening, but we got to change the social norm and the behavior. It don't matter if we do therapy. It don't matter if we do the word. Like the Bible say, we have to keep saturating with it because the enemy is there to take away what we have just heard if we don't have no faith to go with it. And that is what we have to teach them, and that's about faith. So the best thing is self-efficacy, us doing reflective listening, peace circles, us really getting into the programs of us being accountable as men. We have so many men have so many YouTube pages, Facebook pages, these type of pages. I told Martin the other day, I didn't know that some men that was out there talking about the same stuff these you warriors are, but they holding one hand with their phone. We supposed to have both hands ready to really pull and do everything we need in this community to do the things we need to do. So we have to be the seed sowers, and we have to get rid of all these weeds, and we got to understand the harvest that need to be reaped. And so with everything what's going on, us men have to stand up. Us men have to be courageous. Us men have to take back what's going on. That's what's missing. I be up at the schools, and I thank God for you all women. I really thank God for you all. But don't get mad at me. I am so tired of seeing you aunties, you mothers, you grandmothers coming up there picking up your sister kids and everyone else kids. And then when I look up on Facebook and everywhere else, I see Ectica draws, I see Jordans, I see leather coats, I see everything else. But I don't see us bringing the men up. It ain't just about child support from income. It's about child support from us doing the outcome of coming out and really showing them how to be these men that we need them to be, these women we need them to be. And this whole chaos is going on, you all. Just read your word. This is God. We're not battling against flesh and blood. This is a spiritual battle we battling against. And he asking us to stand up and do what we've been commissioned to do, and that's to reach, teach, and baptize. So I thank Martin for me coming on this call. I thank everyone that's on here because we are really concerned. But the only way we're going to earn the right of doing the things that we need to do is to know that we got the right and we earned it to do the things that we need to do. And it's good to talk about it, but we got to walk about it. We got to come up with solutions, and we got to hold everyone accountable. Not just this, because this incident just happened, but just the other day it was a fight up at Simeon. Just the other day, it was a fight with some kids, with some parents on Halsted. So we as Black people, we got to quit talking about each other and talking about. We got to talk about what we can do. What we can do. That's what we have to talk about. We can't say they not doing this, they not doing this. And I don't care if I get in trouble. I'm tired of hearing we have so many men groups, biker groups. What we got, Mason groups. What we got, you can just name them, women. So we got to come out here, and you all got to hold us accountable. You all got to hold us accountable. You all, and I'm sorry, you all got to hold us accountable because everything I'm hearing on this phone, us gentlemen's got to be here to say, hey, you know what? You right, my sister. I'm going to take this. I'm going to do this. Or if we don't know how to do it, we have to have enough riding in us of the mercy of God and the grace of God and say that. Because just because a father have a child, that don't mean they know how to really raise them. But like she said, we got to be the trainers. We got to be the trainers. We can't keep speaking on what happened. We got to forget those things, what's in the past, and press forward to those things, what's ahead. That's what we have to do. And we on this phone, we more than conquerors. And so we have to save our babies because they are next generation. We already see what's trying to go on. So that's what I have to say. We have to teach them how to love, dream, and at the same time, we have to take, and we also have to teach them how to balance. Balance what's going on. And like I said, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we have to saturate more social media and stuff with the things that will transform their mind. That's what we have to do. The way we grew up, we can still do that.
Okay.
And so,
my
love
brother.
and peace, Martin.
No. Hold
I'm
it,
outta
hold
here.
it, hold it, hold it. I got another person coming behind you, but I want to switch gears since I got you on here, and I want you to maybe get your notes or things like that, and let's tell them how we handle situations. Just what happened the other day in the by the school. But just get your notes together in front of you, and I want to go to 206, and I'm gonna come back to you. Then I'm gonna come back to you too, Vera. But let me get 206. Come on, 206. 206. Go ahead, 206.
Yeah, hey Martin.
Hey, how you
Hey
doing?
now. Yeah, I want to hear what the brother what he's saying too. So I'll make this quick and I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet.
Okay.
Everybody that's on the line, first of all, Martin, thank you for this show, and most of all, thank you for your attention on this issue.
They already doing
Fantastic work, brother. And to the callers and listeners.
Because what I did was took everything they was saying.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. He was talking.
Who's
I muted him.
talking?
Go ahead. He was talking. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree with everything that everybody said, especially the brother that came before me. And I think you asked a question as to what we can do to help deal with this situation, this issue. Well, as briefly as I can, I've been thinking about that for quite a while, and life has shown me that parenting is a process. It's an institution. It's a process. It's not something that just, you just have a kid and then that's it, and then that's all you have to worry about. It's very important, and parenting is an institution. And one thing that I think would help us is if we as a community, let's just say in Chicago, on the South Side, whatever, really sat down in a town hall or an academic type of situation and just objectively, dispassionately defined what a parent is and what does a parent do and what is the objective of being a parent, mothers and fathers. And I think if we do that, we'll come up with points and highlights that if you want to be a competent parent, these are some of the things you have to do. And as an example, one thing that I see in parents that, I dealt with as a youngster, I didn't do as a parent, but I dealt with as a youngster. I see a lot of displaced aggression in the household. And I see a lot of anger that a parent would have at the job or at their life or their life decisions or their situation. And the easiest person to take that out on and downright blame is their offspring when they had nothing to do with that at all. What happens is it helps to be able to understand that your communication with the rest of the world and your communication with your offspring is very different. And I won't go on and on and on with that, but that's something that we have to define, create waypoints, and help each other achieve, males and females, achieve those waypoints. This is what you need to do at this stage of your child's development. This is what you need to do at this stage of your child's development. Don't do this, don't do that as best you can, so on and so forth. Another thing that the brother was talking about before I came on is that the men need to step up, and I agree with him 100%. This is a minority situation, but it's prevalent in our community. And I just want to make us, so this is not an excuse, so don't get mad at me. But understand that most children have fathers that have no idea that they have children or that that child is theirs. Many fathers don't even know that they're fathers. They may go down the street and see a kid acting a fool in the street and don't know that that's Trina's kids whose cheeks he was clapping 17 years ago. He may not even know, she might not even know that Brother Duran or Brother DeAndre is the father of, little Smokey Yuki. They may not even know that. Also, and I'm not down in the women on this, but in our community, there's a growing incident of paternity fraud in our community. That's something else we have to look at. I would say this is going to be unpopular, and this probably will never happen, but mandatory paternity tests when children are born. Determine who the child is entitled to know who his or her father is, or isn't. That way, when they need help or when they need financial support or when they need guidance, we for sure know who they're entitled to receive those resources from. And another last thing, and I swear I'll be quiet after I say this. We have enough people, enough money in on the south side of Chicago to take care of children that are born to parents who simply should not be parents. You got to admit, some people should not be parents. Somebody said, and I was reading the chat, just because you fornicate and conceive, that doesn't mean that has nothing to do with the fact if you should be a parent or not. Frances Cress Welsing, the lady, she's from Chicago. Everybody should know who she is. She said that not just women, but especially men, should be a little older and wiser before they start conceiving children. They need to be prepared. If they're not prepared, then what do we do? Well, there's CPS, Child Protective Services, but that's a meat grinder for children. Children are getting abused, they're getting neglected, some of them are getting sexually assaulted. There's no reason why in a big city like Chicago, we can't put together an institution to serve a parallel institution of our creation to serve the needs of children that are in need and connect them with families and households where they will be loved and nurtured and taught the way they should be taught. I think that's all I have. Great show.
Thank
Great
you.
conversation. And there you go.
All right. Brother Vera, before he come.
Yeah, you know what, Martin? I was simply saying that the parenting program is up, and I put the link out so that anybody that want to join, and let's collaborate, because it's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to go ahead and put it into motion. So yeah, it's up. I created the group, and we can talk a little bit more about that. I don't want to go into detail, so go on with the next person.
Okay, Brother Shago. We're going to deviate a little bit from the title today. And I work with this brother. He's very well read. I would say more experienced than I am. And I want you guys to kind of listen in how we operate in these streets of the city of Chicago. We work under, it's called a community violence interrupter, and we work on a grant. And I believe we do it well. And I want this is a more seasoned person that's been doing this since, I believe, 2012. And I'm doing the work, but not as deep as detailed. We all have our, strengths. So, but what I want him to do tonight, let me open the screen up tonight for us to break down the situation that happened the other day with the young men, the teenage boys and girls that jumped on the parent, her son. Now, the question for him is, how would a person that's a CVI, a community violence interrupter, how can we get to the root of the problem and try to come to a peaceful resolution? In your own words, Shango, if you can do that for us tonight, that'd be gladly appreciated, so people can see the work that we do. Not only us, there's many others out there that's really doing the work. Maybe not on a large scale, but there are some that out there that love what they're doing and doing this type of work. Go ahead, Shango.
Well, Martin, to tell you the truth, like I said, what made me call in tonight is because your call tonight to me was more, I would say, productive. Like, the women that were speaking and stuff, they're out here doing, the work of God. And that's what I tell people we are out here doing. And so one thing I would have said, but what that brother said is that it ain't what we need, it's what we need to do. And that's what we need to get together to do. We have to have unity, and we all need to be in one space. Because yes, I do CVI, and yes, I do that, but it's a mother on here that say she raised 5 kids. I met a lady today that got out of prison and lost her child while she was in prison and come out here to do this work. and out here saving the same type of kids, people that did that to her child. So me, that's why I love being who I am, a disciple of God, because that makes me a learner. At the same time, and like I told somebody earlier, I get on social media, but I'm not a content creator. I just take the content from God who created it, and I just utilize the positions He put me in, and then I just utilize working it through that. So with them, everything they said tonight was almost on point and how it had to be. But us being CVI, we have to do what you always have to do. We got to gather up info. That means we can't be caught in our feelings. We have to be considerate and show compassion, but we have to watch certain words we use. We can't go off of what we first hear. Then we have to hear both sides. Then when we do, we have to do what we all have to do right now. We have to strategize. And then after we strategize, we have to come up with a plan. And we have to mediate it. We have to come up with a solution where it's resolved, where now we can start, like they said about wraparound service and something, we can start getting the people that's a part of it in the right places where they need to be. And so, like we say, it's a lot what people be going through, and this trauma out here nowadays, it may not just come from what happened to a child through his own family. The trauma nowadays, you can get it like through social media, and you can get it through TV, because when you turn on TV and you turn on social media, they show us with nothing but trauma, and we, for some reason, enjoys it. And we, for some reason, have got off that we have always loved the Batman and the Superman, and we have always went against the villain. And so with that, that's what we have to do with it, and we have to come up with a plan. So it's a lot of things they said, but what we have to do is we have to do what we know Martin Luther King and them done. Everything was started from the table. Everything was started from gathering around. It was started from, okay, instead of saying what we need to do or what them people not doing or what that have to do, we have to come up with a strategic plan of putting something together and start growing and start saturating that right now. How? I don't know. Because like I would say, again, this time me being on the call, again, I'm more like a learner, and at the same time, I'm more like a person that can give, consulting advice. But I just been listening a lot more, Martin, because I could speak on it, because I am one of them children that came from, you know what I'm saying, what they call the inner city. I am one of them childs that came from my parents and them caught up in the other side. I am one of them children, but through the grace of God, I had a village, and that's what we don't have. Just having a group of people that say they want to stop this or do this. No, the same, what should have been going on out there. It should have been somebody with clipboards taking names and taking emails. And that's what we should be doing, and somebody like you could do that. Names and emails, and we start sending out different things, and we start coming up with a conflict map. We got to map out the things we need to do, the target zones like we do, the target areas, and then we have to break that down to zones, and then we would know what area need certain things. Every area don't need the same thing, but we all know it's a lack of poverty. And that's one thing that happened, because he said, too, about everything he said. You got to have a license to drive a car. You got to have a license, to get it. It's easy to get a gun. But at the same time, having a baby, we get so excited about that. Baby showers and everything. And at the same time, sometimes we know that the person having the baby is still a baby in their mind and in their heart themselves, and know the person they're having the baby with, this is going to become a burden to the family. Because we know that God is God say, I am only responsible for those, like Jesus say, that love me by following what? The commandments that what I say follow. So no matter what we look at, and how she said earlier, not honoring the parents and things like that. So with this incident here, it was a tragedy, but we have to gather info. We have to strategize. We have to come up with a plan. And I've been hearing so much great strategy. But again, I'm not trying to jump on us. But us men, like I heard another lady with another plan, us men, where are we at and what we gonna do? What we gonna do? That's just that simple, Martin. So that's what we do out there. We saturate the community, we canvas, we find out who the inroads is, people that's got not 1 foot in, 1 foot out, is trapped. And I could preach about this all day. A lot of people are trapped inside of this. There's nothing they could do over by that project. It's not a school problem. It's right there. It's the post school is what the environment that it is caught in. And when we look around the school, I bet it's lack of resources, it's lack of even encouragement. So that's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it, and that's what I believe is going to have to happen. And and like this, yeah, it could be strategy, but we know this: praying is us talking to God, but meditation is God talking to us. And we need more meditation, and that's why I always teach it. That's all I do, and that's what I have to do every day. And so, yeah, we identify, we detect, we interrupt, we intervene, but then we change the social norm, we change the behavior. And if we really think about it, I'm not going biblical, but that's what the words say. Don't conform in this world, but be transformed by what? The renewing of your mind. And so we all know that, and that's what happened. So that's how we have to do it, and that's what needs to be done, because we already know it's like a cup of milk spilling on the table. You can start wetting some of it up, and you may think you got all of it up, but it's sticky. The residue is still there. So we know in Chicago, for some reason, we've been going through tragedies that we really should be going through if it's going to happen every 3 to 5 years. So it's a spiritual battle we're in, Martin. I can keep saying that, and most of the people on the phone and I almost said it too. That's what we're against. And and then it brings the anger, it brings the things that we should not be saying, the frustration. And so when we talk about anger to children, I can tell you now that's danger. Talk about anger to children, that's danger, because they already don't know, so they combative. Like a wild animal, you know what I'm saying? A wild animal be combative if you're trying to catch it. You're trying to catch it, it may do more harm to you than it do of you're trying to train it up in another way, and not comparing an animal to a child, but just comparing about what has to be done. Everything has to be trained. And I was telling the brother earlier that we are so mixed up because the same stuff that you do in the military, the same stuff that happens in other places where we see, you know what I'm saying, a child or a young boy turned into a man. That's the same stuff we got to apply out here. We got to. We can't bring the gang structure no more. They dismantled that, and we just left them out here to defend for themselves. So if we just Google right now, women, and Martin, you just Google, and I'm not against them again. If you just Google mentoring programs in Chicago, you'll probably stand up out your chair. Probably stand up out your chair. So if we think about it, I can mentor 10 boys by myself, and you, Martin, that's 10 more. That's 20 right there. The young man that was on there, I'm pretty sure he could do 10 more. So if you get 100 men, you can get 1,000 boys being mentored. Twice a week, 3 times a week. Then we got social media. We got Zoom now. So we got to understand that they crazy, because when it come to us transforming them, we didn't got lazy. And that's what we just got to admit. And so we got to get back to getting to work, because if not, we going to be work like we been. I don't mean to laugh about it, but we are. And that's it. That's all.
Okay.
Like, seriously, we got to.
Man, I thank you. Thank
That's
you for
what I got
that.
to say, man.
Thank you. And you just touched a little shadow, just a little bit out there to keep our mind curious. And I appreciate the words you say. And I was trying to, for the last couple of days, I was just trying to explain the way and how I look at things in situations like that, break down. See, I'm not just a person to ride around and show you crime on a cell phone. I'm more than that. Trust me, I'm boots on the ground. I'm really boots on the ground. And we're dealing with a lot of things. you know, and this training that I'm in, I had a 40-hour training. Also, I'm being mentored by my brother on here. I call him my big brother, CVI, even though I'm older than he is, but he's well more educated than I am in CVI work. And so he's shadowing me, he's teaching me, and also he's gonna have a training for me next week too. I ain't forgot about that. Excited about that to learn. So that's why I was telling people, when we look at things, we got to come to a solution. Okay, we identify the problem, as like he said, and we just got to break it down. You know, how can we solve this problem? What can we do? You know, I put on the table last night, and I said, the brother came on. He said, "Man, I looked at the young people who did this horrific crime, and I looked at how some adults was going to their house, knocking on their doors, and and he said, I looked at one of the guy's shoes. He was basically his feet was on the ground, in a sense. So what I'm saying, and it would be right if a 14-year-old, 15-year-old would shoot some grown folks coming to their house, trying to intimidate him. Now, we know we live in a day and age, and I'm praying that don't happen, that our young people get a hold of weapons. Have you ever recognized that? How could a person that's low income, no money, feet on the ground, but they got $1,000 gun with another couple of $100 worth of ammunition? How do they?
That's a good question.
Yeah, how do they get that? Yeah, ask yourself that question. Here's a person that literally feet is on the ground with some Jordans or Air Force Ones, whatever. But mysteriously, they're on videos. They got Desert Eagles and street sweepers, whatever. They got these weapons. And I often ask myself that question. Here's a person, dirt poor, don't have nothing, but they have them weapons. And for those of you that's walking around, knocking on the doors and daring these young people to come out of the house, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Please be careful. And that's it for me. Anybody else that want to say anything? That's it for me for the night. I just, it was a great program. Anybody like to say any closing comments? It's okay with me.
Hit the like button.
Yeah, hit the like button, y'all. Make sure y'all please hit the like button. Show your boy some support. That's all. Show your boy some support. It don't hurt. It don't hurt nothing or cost anything just to hit the like button. Some of you guys, you look at the like button and see all the likes I get. So just to be defiant, you say, well, he already got enough likes. I ain't going to hit it anyway. But you're here learning. You're here getting some information. We're not on here clapping booties. We're not on here talking about, sexual things. We're on here learning. We're growing. And we learn how to deal with certain things in the community. And also, we brought up some solutions. Is that worth something to you? Or this might be the wrong live for you. You want to see some blood. I know it. You want to see some booty clapping. I know it. You want to see some violent videos. I know it. I know it. But you're at the wrong space tonight. We are the school of no fools. As the legendary Johnny Twist always say, I'm in the school of no fools. And we're no fools tonight. All right, people, you already know what it is.
You already know what it is.
What is it?
Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil. I love being black.
Go in peace. Share the video. Thank you so much.